somebody who is fucking horrible. I would rather flip the fucking board over. I would rather vote for a fucking a crackhead under a bridge than stay inside of the little tiny fucking narrow damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Sorry about my voice, guys. I'm running on empty, guy. I'm gonna be totally real. I've had a stressful week, and it's probably gonna keep being stressful. It's rough. And so anyway, speaking of crack, there you go. And anyway, so elect a terrorist? Yes. As a show of force and as a show of what's the word? Of protest. Yes. Yes. That's right. That's right. We're so sick of this that we will elect a terrorist. That's right. That was my viewpoint with Trump. That was. And like, yes, LOL, what? That's right. Because again, and no. It's a show of defiance. It is a show of defiance. It is a protest vote. It is a fuck you. It is a no, I'm not going to sit inside of this little box that you put me in. I'm going to go off the fucking rails. And unless you want to follow me, you're going to lose. And the thing is that it's a show of ignorance. Good. Good. Hopefully they listen this time. Stop giving us shitty candidates. Stop giving us shitty candidates that prioritize Israel over New York City. New York City's a fucking PvP server. There's crazy people everywhere in New York City. There's illegal migration constantly. There's fucking what is it? There's rent problems. Nobody can afford to live there. People are having their shit stolen constantly. All of this stuff, it's Gotham. Like, everybody knows New York City was based off of Gotham fucking City, right? Or sorry, Gotham City was based off New York City. And that's the Batman city where everything goes wrong. And so the fact is, no, absolutely not. And my NYCKDA is watch Eric Adams' interview talking about this guy. Yeah, I will. And who's truly ignorant there. And the people who are, it's not about being ignorant. It's about showing defiance against a system that intentionally disenfranchises you and creates a false dichotomy between different people that will not give you any results. And at a certain point, in my opinion, I think the only way to play is to flip the fucking board over and say, fuck you. So an anarchist? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I would rather live in anarchy than managed, controlled tyranny occupied by a foreign nation, slowly declining into feudalism. No. No.
Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel?
So look at this shit. What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, as mayor?
I will be doing, as the mayor...
And I want to reiterate, I don't agree with this guy on a lot of things. I don't like a lot of things this guy represents. But that doesn't matter.
Standing up for Jewish New Yorkers, and I'll be meeting them wherever they are across the 5 boroughs.
Do you remember what I said before about how I always vote for the most disruptive candidate? Whoever will cause the most problems, whoever will destabilize the system the most, that's who I vote for. Because I think the system needs to be destabilized, because I think that it is, the stabilization of the system is done in a way that is, bad. He's the literal opposite of your whole politics. I know. That's my point. Yes. That's the whole point.
That's in their synagogues and temples, or at their homes, or at the subway.
That's not a smart way of thinking. You see, a lot of people, and I understand your point of view, and I respect your point of view, but that's not the point of view that I want to live by. My personal opinion is that choosing the lesser of two evils, it seems to me, this is just the way I feel, it seems to me that the lesser of two evils becomes more evil every time. just over time. Maybe like 20 years ago, it was more reasonable, and it becomes more and more and more evil, and the other one becomes worse and worse and worse. You're still choosing evil, right? Exactly. And so chat's getting mad when you don't even live in New York. Yeah, this guy's better than Cuomo by a long shot. Cuomo's a proven corrupt politician. Exactly. People don't understand that after electing the guy, it's going to make people more happy with Republicans. Yeah, and again, I know this is probably going to be very surprising for people to hear. And again, I don't even really... it's a protest vote, basically. And I think a lot of people should embrace that. And here's one thing to keep in mind, that all of the establishment politics and everything establishment media, the one thing that they are more afraid of than anything is a person like me, who is willing to flip the board over, throw things into chaos, ruin everything, and just say, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. Because I'm so sick and tired of this bullshit.
Platform, because ultimately we need to focus on delivering on their concerns.
And just yes or no, do you believe in a Jewish state of Israel?
Do you see this? Listen to this.
As the mayor, I'll be standing up for Jewish New Yorkers, and I'll be meeting them wherever.
Mayor?
I will be doing, as the mayor, I'll be standing up for Jewish New Yorkers, and I'll be meeting them wherever they are across the 5 boroughs, whether that's in their synagogues and temples, or at their homes, or at the subway platform, because ultimately we need to focus on delivering on their concerns.
And just yes or no, do you believe in a Jewish state of Israel?
So this is it. They asked him which place that he would visit first, and then he says he'd stay in New York to make New York better. And then they ask him a question that's like, do you believe in the Jewish state of Israel? They're trying to catch him in something that's going to make him look bad. They're trying to misrepresent him. And again, hopefully you guys respect it. It's so obvious. It's so fucking obvious.
I believe Israel has the right to exist.
Not as a Jewish state?
As a state with equal rights.
He won't say it has a right to exist as a Jewish state. Be very clear.
Well, they do. They have a right to exist as a Jewish state. They have a right to exist however they want, because I don't like this idea that a state doesn't have the right to exist as an ethno-state. It very clearly does, because we're not God. Basically, sovereign nations are not accountable to anybody else. So if a nation wants to exist as an ethno-state, that is their right and their own prerogative, because they are a sovereign nation to make that decision.
answer was no, he won't visit Israel.
I said that.
That's what he was trying to say.
No. Unlike you, I answer questions very directly.
All right. My goal would be to take my first trip to Israel. My wife's life work in this area means a lot to our family, and it could coincide with my young son Miles' bar mitzvah, if you'd like to have his bar mitzvah.
Okay, but
man, and so big surprise. And this is not even a topic that should be discussed at a mayoral debate. This is subversion. Yes. The problem is he might say he will visit Israel, but we all know a big politician bows down to Israel. He's just saying that he won't. You can't be a politician without unwavering, outspoken allegiance with Israel. Well, eventually somebody will be. Eventually somebody will be a politician who doesn't express allegiance to Israel. And when that person does come out, and I think, again, voting for this guy moves the Overton window closer to that guy getting elected. This guy might not be that guy, but this guy paves the path for the next guy. And we'll watch this.
My team says I move my hands too much in these videos. So for this one, they're staying in my pockets. The other day on the subway, I met a New Yorker. But get this, they vote in California. I know this is true for many of you. You're Democrats who've chosen not to vote here because you believe your vote counts more elsewhere. Every 4 years, you vote absentee from your parents' address in Philly or 3 apartments ago in Atlanta. But come on, you live here. I get it, I do.
Keep them in your pockets.
Especially after this last election. We all wanted to defeat Donald Trump, and New York felt like a lock. But in many ways, this election, Trump's back on the ballot. We have a choice between Andrew Cuomo, funded by the same billionaires who put Donald Trump back in the White House, and our campaign, who will tax billionaires to make the city affordable. It's a referendum on where our party goes. So in just this one instance, ask yourself, WWDFGD, what would a disgraced former governor do? Well, Cuomo changed his registration immediately after not having lived here for more than 30 years.
There's also that. What the fuck? This guy's trying to run for mayor at a place he doesn't even live? What the hell are you talking about?
So if he's voting from his new address, so should you. With just single digits between us and Andrew Cuomo, your vote can make the difference. You have until June 14th, this Saturday, to change your registration in New York City. So head to ZahranforNYC.com/vote. Let's win this thing. I do.
Keep them in your pockets.
Yep, and there it is. And this is again, it's a very simple interview, very simple commercial. And that's, I think, what people, it's annoying. I mean, people could say it's annoying or whatever. But I think in general, I think that he has a message that resonates with a lot of people. And I think especially as more young people, I think that as more young people, and like he's not really super young, he's 33, right? And I'm older than that, so I don't know what that says. But my point is, I think that there are a lot of these issues that I think mainstream media and I think the boomer establishment somehow that's still in power is like fucking desperately hanging on to, like bullshit with Israel and other things like this. These are just simply not relevant to an average person, right? He looks 40. I mean, I don't know. But like either way, that's what I'm saying. But anyway, so I'll watch a video about this because this was obviously very, very big news. But as I said, I know that a lot of people might not like my my methods, but I truly do believe that the only way to overcome people like him and the, like Israel first lobby is to just simply vote against it at any cost. Bro would vote for Garage Hellscream as president? Yeah, I would. Absolutely, of course. And so let's go back over here. I'll look and see it. And Trump came out yesterday after your stream and said 24 hours ending the war was sarcasm. Oh, no, I did not see that. I didn't at all. Yeah, voting for a communist Islamist because you hate Jews is crazy. Yep, and keep saying it's because you hate Jews, and you're going to keep getting more communist Islamists, and you get what you fucking deserve. Yep, keep playing that game, keep lying, keep misrepresenting things, keep trying to overplay your hand. Yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing it. It's working out great.
The results are coming in what could be a real-time referendum on the future of the Democratic Party. Many analysts see New York City's mayoral race as a litmus test between establishment Democrats and the younger, more progressive wing of the party. CNN's chief data analyst, Harry Enton, is with us at the table now. Harry.
There is a huge component to this that's not even being discussed. And it's the fact that a lot of these older politicians have goals, issues, and problems that do not resonate with the population. Like, a guy almost won the mayor, one mayor in New York City by just saying the rent is too damn high. That was it. That's all he needed to say. And that was massively effective.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Earthquake.
Whoa! Yeah. Okay, tell us where we are right now.
I mean, look. Mondani is ahead by plenty at this point. You can see on your screen right there, that's a 7-point lead right now
turn up a little bit.
in terms of the first round votes. Now, obviously, New York uses a ranked choice voting system where essentially you eliminate all the candidates, you reallocate their ballots because the folks who get a ballot will rank their candidates 1 through 5, and you essentially reallocate the votes until one candidate gets at least 50%. But I will tell you this, if you look on your screen, you see the third place candidate, Brad Lander.
It's pretty obvious. I mean, this guy is on this guy's side, so I mean, like, it's over, right? It's so over.
Co-endorsed or cross-endorsed with Mondani. Most of his votes are very likely to go to Mondani, and not a single pre-election poll that I saw had Cuomo getting anywhere near the type of support that he would need once those ballots reallocated.
Yeah.
That lead will almost certainly stand up, and that is why I do believe that Cuomo has conceded the Democratic nomination.
And he's called Mondani to concede, which is extraordinary.
Yep.
Let me tell you this. I study New York City politics in my entire life. The only New York City primary that I think is tantamount to this in terms of the earthquake is 1989 when David Dinkins came in and defeated Ed Koch, who was running for a 4th term for mayor. That is the type of earthquake that we're seeing here, and he's done it. He came into this race down, 30, 40 points to Andrew Cuomo, the former governor, who everyone thought was a huge favorite. Apparently not. He did it by activating younger voters, by activating very liberal voters, by cutting into Andrew Cuomo's base with black voters. The bottom line is this. Mondani is now a force to be reckoned with in Democratic politics nationwide.
It shifts the window to discussing things and topics that are relevant to everyday average people rather than these abstractions. And, like paying, some sort of tribute to foreign interests.
wide going forward.
Joy, you talked
Is
to
it true
him.
he only got citizenship 7 years ago and he's a socialist from Africa? Well, yeah, I mean, we voted for one of those in 2008 too, and so what do you expect? I mean, we've done this before.
Friday.
We had him on the show on Friday. We also had Brad Lander on, and Brad Lander talked about being tackled by ICE agents as he was trying to defend immigrants. What Mamdani said that I thought was really extraordinary, he would be the first immigrant mayor of the preeminent immigrant capital in the United States, a city that...
I'll add in, I also think that if you run for any public office and you hold any public office at all in the United States, you need to renounce all citizenship from any other country. Dual citizens cannot run for public office, should not be able to run for public office. That would be nice, yes. And there's no reason. New rules? Yep, absolutely. So I want to make sure you guys understand that, you know, a chaos vote is not necessarily a complete endorsement of an individual. What about U.S. territories? Debatable. I'd have to think about that more. I mean, I'm thinking about other countries that aren't U.S. territories, but probably I'd be okay with that. I mean, if they're U.S. territories, I would probably be, like, I guess, like if I had to guess.
Is a sanctuary city where people are still being accosted at their immigration hearings. And so I think just symbolically, I think this is a message about people's revulsion in the treatment of immigrants by this administration.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with that. Indeed, talking about egg prices and rents meta like Trump did, but nothing changed for the better, only empty promises. Well, egg prices did go down. They absolutely went down. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, you could just look at the graph, and the graph shows that it went down. And so, like, immigrants, I think, obviously, you know, this girl is a fucking retard, right? She's always been a retard. That's why she got kicked off of her show. I'm surprised that she made her way onto CNN. But the reality is that, you know, illegal aliens, yeah, I think people do have a big problem with that. But legal immigration, I think there's less of an issue with. But, you know, again, there's, like, limits to everything.
And about the ways in which the Abrams administration has been complicit in that.
Can I
think
play a
that's
little
part
bit
of what's
Joy, from your
She's a
interview
retard.
with him,
Sure.
where he talks about this? Let's listen.
You know, I would be the first immigrant mayor of this city in generations, and I would be proud to be that, but even prouder for what I would actually do. This is a city of immigrants. We've said for so long, 40% of New Yorkers were born outside of this country. And yet what we've seen in the current mayoral administration, and even in Andrew Cuomo's campaign, is an insufficient readiness to actually take on Donald Trump and protect New Yorkers. One of the things we should be proudest of in New York City are our sanctuary city laws. These are laws that have kept New Yorkers safe for decades, been defended by Republicans and Democrats alike for that time period until the demagoguery of this current mayor. I would proudly stand up for
Which, by the way, this is what I say. I completely disagree with everything he's saying here. I think this is totally fucking retarded. It's completely un-American, and I think sanctuary cities should be totally illegal. That's my viewpoint.
those laws.
So he's talking there also
I think
about
anybody who even like allows it or facilitates it should be charged.
Eric Adams, who we haven't really talked about because he's not in this primary, but is expected to run on another line in the general. This will be an indictment on
You would
Eric.
have voted for him? I would have voted for him over the other guys, yeah. Because the other guys would have done the same thing. Yeah. When every option is bad, flip the board over. Yeah. That's right. Come back with better options next time. You don't want the board flipped over again.
Eric Adams, too, and his willingness to, I guess, in the words of Mamdani, stand up to Donald Trump.
There's no one happier after Mamdani and his family than Eric Adams tonight, because everyone over 50 years old who remembers Times Square in the 1970s and the 1980s when you couldn't walk through, it was all pornography and crack and muggings and rapes and robberies. Everyone who remembers that is going to vote for Eric Adams. The New York Times, who didn't do an endorsement, did say, please don't vote for Mamdani, as did the Daily News, as did the New York Post. So anybody who knows how bad New York can get all came out against Mamdani because a 33-year-old with zero experience running anything except a little office with 5 employees should not be run.
Great. You know what I hear whenever I hear that? I hear that a 33-year-old with no experience that has no fucking idea what he's doing managed to outmaneuver a career politician. I think that says more about the career politician than it does about the person who won. That's just me. That's a skill issue? Yeah.
Running the city of New York.
Donald Trump is president of the United States. His experience was being on The Apprentice. He's head of the Pentagon, whose experience was being a weekend anchor on Fox. Are you kidding me? He's got Dr. Oz is in his administration. Dr. Oz,
you're leaving out something. She's a 33.
She's so dumb. She's actually so stupid. She's actually trying to compare Donald Trump, who's been involved tangentially in politics for almost half a century, to a 33-year-old guy that has not been involved in politics in the same way. Like, Donald Trump's been involved in politics longer than this guy's been alive. Like, it's insane. How do you even compare the two?
Socialist who's never run a popsicle stand.
He's literally in city government right now. Sorry, after Donald Trump, I'm sorry, after Donald Trump and his Pinky and the Brain administration, no one ever gets to talk about qualifications.
Socialism will not save the
bottom line is what I want to ask you a question. What is your evidence that Mamdani would return New York City to the 1970s hellhole Times Square? What is your evidence of
It's
that?
very simple. So he wants to raise taxes on people who make the most money. What eventually is going to happen is you're going to lose that tax base. Once you lose that tax base, our bonds will get degraded. Now the city budget will not be substantial enough to subsidize not only the cops but the fire department, the sanitation department. Once you start losing Wall Street and people who pay $11,000, $12,000 a month to live on the Upper East Side, you're done.
Let me ask
you. And you go back to the 70s when Gerald...
And he's, by the way, he's making good points here. Right? He's making good points. He's saying things that I think are relevant. I think these are true. Sure.
Ford said to New York, drop dead.
Okay, but hold on, Arthur.
Crisis.
But Arthur, just as somebody who is just listening to you, you raise the taxes on wealthy people in this city, maybe a couple percent, right?
Then they
they're already
53%, and that's exactly my point.
They're
already paying some of the high. I know.
What's
Arthur.
the logic? So because they're paying high taxes, if you charge them even higher taxes, they're not going to leave?
Oh, I can.
Oh my God. Where do these people come from?
They suck.
But Arthur, they are already paying, right at this moment, some of the highest taxes in the country. And you think that 1 or 2% is going to cause a mass exodus out of New York?
It could. It could. There's always the straw that breaks the camel's back. That's what's happened with California. That's why so many businesses moved from California to Texas.
It already has started.
I just want to be clear that that's what you're saying, because I think that seems pretty extraordinary.
Because he's also not going to focus on crime. Right now you have Police Commissioner Tisch and John Chell, the chief of the department. Crime in the state.
And he's totally right. Baldy, Kingpin here, is right about this again. He's right. Crime is a massive fucking issue. People are getting their shit stolen. People are selling stolen goods on the street. Illegal aliens are being employed constantly. It's a massive issue.
The city of New York right now is set to break all records as the lowest ever in recorded history for shootings and murders. Once that starts going up in the other direction, and the tax base is gone, and sanitation is gone, and schools are gone.
Okay, last thing I will say, and then I'll let you in, Anna. The last thing I will say, and then I'll let you in.
Holy fuck.
Under Eric Adams, crime did go up in the city.
And then went down.
Yes, but
that was during the pandemic.
Yes,
and migrants.
Exactly. But I'm just being clear. crime has already gone up in New York, and it has come down. So even when crime went up in New York, there was perhaps some departure, but there was not a collapse of the tax base in New York City. Okay, Anna, go ahead.
Okay, so
imagine what would happen if 3 bad things happened. Like, I mean, does this girl ever played WoW? Like, she knows 3 stacks of Sunder Armor makes you do more damage than 1 stack of Sunder Armor, right? I mean, this is fucking obvious. If you've got multiple debuffs, then it's more effective than 1 debuff. Everybody knows that. How do people not know this? It's so obvious.
I am not a New Yorker.
What's going
I live
on?
in Miami, where we don't have 50% tax rate.
Like I've already
we have our share of insane elections and insane politicians. But this reminded me, you talked about the Dinkins election. To me, this reminded me of the AOC versus Joe Crowley election, where there was this establishment sacred cow who thought that because of his name and because of his pockets, he could walk into it. And there was a young upstart who put a lot of leather and a lot of footwork and
boots on the ground.
and boots on the ground and did it. And so, I would say when it comes to New York, do not underestimate the sweat of these folks. And by the way,
he won. I'm not underestimating.
I would just say this.
And I would not have voted for him.
If you were saying that Eric Adams is the person who's loves this result the second most compared to after Mamdani.
He'll be the anti-Mamdani.
But I will say this, the people who hate this result the most are the Democratic establishment. We have seen poll after poll after poll showing Democratic voters.
That is the exact mindset that I have about the protest vote. That is exactly what I think.
Fed up with their leaders in Washington. Fed up with their leaders in government. And all of a sudden, Andrew Cuomo, who 5 years ago was leading those COVID, press conferences, was this guy who was held in such high esteem. And now all of a sudden, the best he...
Flip the board over, burn the motherfucker down, do not accept the lesser of 2 evils, do not be pacified, do not let this happen.
Can do is what, 37%?
62% of Democrats.
They were talking about
62% of Democrats say that their
So
party
Republicans
place.
had the Tea Party. This is the Chai Party taking over the Democrats.
Chai Party
and I
was
run
the
campaigns
Chai.
for Republicans all over the country. If they turn to 33-year-old socialists who've never run popsicle stands, that's great for us. We'll win a lot of elections.
So can somebody explain this to me now? So this could end up, Cuomo could end up running as an independent. Adams ends up as an independent, and then this guy.
In other words, it ain't over.
This is the way I see it, right? And Zoran was for defunding the NYPD. Yeah, well, how's the NYPD doing now? I mean, aren't they all doing that? And also, by the way, bloating hard is bloated tard arguing for the status quo. Why does it always seem like there's a self-destruction plan from the Democrats, like they want to sabotage themselves? It's because they're captured by identity politics. That's the issue, is that so much of Democrat positions are caricatured by identity politics that it's impossible for them to divorce themselves from the extremists and the radicals that they've attracted. And that's really the main reason why it's happened. And NYPD didn't do shit anyway. Yeah, exactly, right? And so, I don't know, it seems like every candidate that the Democrats are pushing is a brain-dead option. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, would I vote for Eric Adams instead? I don't know enough about the guy. But I will say that the moment that I hear somebody, the first thing that they would want to do as mayor is go to the Holy Land. No, bro, if you are the mayor of my city, your Holy Land is right here.
That's good logic.
That's the way I see it. That's my opinion, right? The moment I hear that shit, I'm out. I'm out. That's it. I'm done. Get to fucking work? Yes. And so, yeah, stay in your fucking city. And, yeah, they aren't true. Yeah, Adams is more corrupt than Cuomo. He's even worse. Well, maybe that's it. Your point on this makes sense, but the core values of American democracy won't push the needle far. The chaos won't help, so it'll only spread more socialist values. Well, trying to make things better by making them worse is the only thing that I can do, and I think it's the most effective thing that I can do. And I have no problem doing something that I think is maybe destructive in order to achieve a larger goal that I think is beneficial. And I wish more people saw it that way. I definitely do. And Holy Land, are we back to crusading? Yes, clearly. It's accelerationism. Yes, exactly. And I'm from Israel. I agree with you 100%. And if you're an Israeli, I don't like, guys, like, let's be real, right? If you're an Israeli, I totally get it. I totally understand where you're coming from. But, like, in the same way that you should be advocating for your country, we want to be advocating for ours, right? And that's it. It's just that simple. So you can listen to this guy's the message here too, and we'll watch one more of these. I want to move on past this. There's a bunch of other stuff I want to talk about. You're for universal income, but not high taxes for the wealthiest people in New York. I just don't think I don't think that as a mayor, I think that the solution to that has to be on a federal level. So like I agree with the idea, but I don't agree with the implementation. Does that make sense?
Good morning, everyone. We are approaching the dawn of a new era in New York City. We are turning the page on the corrupt politics of the past that made this the most expensive city in the United States of America.
See, this is an average person's issue. Money, directly money.
Today, I am filled with gratitude for the more than 50,000 volunteers that have powered this campaign for the last 8 months, for the tens of thousands more who have already cast their ballots. And I'm filled with conviction that we will win this race. We've shown that by focusing on the issues of working and middle-class New Yorkers across this city,
yes,
that by listening instead of lecturing, that by creating a politics of no translation, New Yorkers will join you in your fight for a new city. What we offer is a way to sustain this city that I so deeply love. What we offer is a vision to keep New Yorkers in the place that they call home, and an antidote to the Trump administration and the hatred and the division that it spews.
Yeah, like I think that's stupid, but everything else, these are all, again, individual, personal things that people care about.
You're showing people
that
hope is not something that is naive. It is in fact righteous when it is built upon a plan and a vision. We are showing New York City that a better day is possible, and today is the first of many of them. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so there it is. And high taxes for the rich never works. They get tax deductions and move their money to Switzerland. There's all, like, high taxes doesn't work. How much do you want to bet that if you took the top 5 tax evaders in the country, like you got Donald Trump together, you got Bill Clinton together, you got George Soros together, and you got, let's see, who else? Who doesn't pay any taxes and fucks around on their taxes all the time? Bill Gates, maybe, something like that. And maybe Elon Musk. Yeah, you get these 5 guys together. Somehow they're all on the same team. I guarantee you that they can come up with a tax code that prevents that from happening. Guaranteed. The thing is that the reason why this happens is that the people that run the government are retarded, and in the cases where they're not retarded, they're bribed. And so that's it. No, these guys could figure it out without a question. Yeah, they would immediately. It's the same as Trump put those tariffs on, and he tariffed the Penguin Island immediately. Everybody said, well, why did you tariff the Penguin Island? Well, he says, well, because people usually route it from the Penguin Island to avoid tariffs. How would you know that? Because you're a scammer. That's how you know that. And so if you're a scammer, you can see other scams. And so I guarantee you, bring together the top 5 biggest scammers, and you're going to be able to come up with a system that you can't fucking scam. And that's it. Fucking penguins. Yes. No, I'm being serious. Absolutely knows how to play the game. Yes, people know how to play the game. And so, yeah, this is the reason why I think this guy won. Zohar Madami, a Muslim Democratic Socialist, has won the New York City primary for mayor. Yeah, again, if they didn't want this to happen, they should have avoided running candidates that said that the Holy Land wasn't New York City. If you are the mayor of New York City should be your Holy Land, not Israel. It is a joke. It is a joke. Oh my God. Where are these people coming from? So yes, and change the subject. I know. I feel very strongly about this. I do. And again, like, this is stuff that I agree. Let's see here. What would I agree with? End cash bail. I don't know about this. Repeal the walking while trans ban. I don't even know what that is. Decriminalize sex work. I think that's okay. Legalize marijuana. I agree with that. Safe injection sites. This sounds like bullshit. Restrict solitary confinement. I don't really know about this. Enact elder parole. I don't know about that. Decriminalize simple drug possession. I agree with that. Repeal all mandatory minimum sentences. I disagree with this. Reduce maximum sentences with retroactive effect. I also disagree with that. I think we need to have more people. Guys, I'm a big fan. So this is going to sound bad. I'm a big fan of putting a lot of people in jail. That's what I think we need to do. We've got a big problem. We've got a lot of people causing issues. The solution is we put all of them in jail. Anybody who's causing problems, you're shitting on the street. Okay, jail. You're selling you're selling fake IDs. Jail. You're going you skip the subway fare. You save 79 cents. Believe it or not, jail. That's right. I work in rehab, and I can't begin to tell you how abused they are by the homeless who have no intention of ever stopping their drug use. Yeah, listen, guys, I know obviously there's bad people in rehab, and there's some people that are drug users and everything, and they do need to be put in jail. But the reason why they need to be put in jail isn't because they're drug users, it's because they're bad actors. I think that's more the case than anything else. So, yeah. And there's safe injection sites in San Francisco, and it fucked the city. Yeah, I don't know. Asmon would arrest someone stealing food to survive. Of course I would. I would do that without a second of hesitation. Instantaneously, I would arrest somebody stealing food to survive, because the people who they're stealing the food for need to sell food to survive. What business and what right do they have to take away somebody else's right to survival in order to benefit their own? Absolutely not. No, it's always easy to think like that, but you never think about the second order effects. So yes, absolutely, I do it, and that's just the way it is.
Good.
And I was typing back and everything, but it's so anti what feels good for me to do. Even when people are being nice, I find it horrifying and humiliating. I don't know where that comes from, but I kind of wish I didn't have it.
This episode is brought to you by Visible. Now, you know, I tend to go down a lot of rabbit holes. I want to know everything about everything. And if you're like that, you need wireless that can keep up. Visible is wireless that lets you live in the know. It's the ultimate wireless hack. You get unlimited data and hotspot, so you're connected on the go. Plus, Visible is powered by Verizon's 5G network, meaning fast speeds and great coverage. And with the new Visible Plus Pro plan, you get premium wireless without the premium cost. And the best part, it's all digital, no stores. You can switch to Visible right from your phone. It only takes about 15 minutes, and then you manage your plan in the app. Ready for wireless that lets you live in the know? Make the switch at visible.com/Rogan. Plans start at $25 a month. For the best features, get the new Visible Plus Pro plan for $45 a month. Terms apply. See visible.com for plan features and network management details. Well, I think everybody hates watching themselves. First of all, because when I watch a comic, I want to watch a comic doing material either that I know and I want to see again. You know, like if I'm watching Shane and he's doing his bit on the Navy SEALs, I want to see it again. Or I just want to see it. You know, I've never seen it develop. I want to see the thing. But when you're doing it, you're aware of everything. You're aware of all the edits you've made. You're aware of all the different ways you've done it. Yep. You're aware of when you're trying to sell it a little too much, and you're not in the moment. You know, there's all the grossness that you see that other people aren't going to see. But you're like, ew. I hate watching myself.
Dude, it was so hard. It was so hard not to just attack myself in the chat. Like, all I wanted to do was watch it and go, this fucking boo, sucks. nice blinking 56-year-old. But I didn't do it. I'm like, don't be a fucking... I think it was Jay Okerson was doing something. He did his special and he shot it at Skankfest one year. And I think Lewis took him out and they were looking at the stage before. And it was one of those guys, like, you know, Jay is just like, oh, he's a fucking... fuck it. I think Lewis goes, you know, sometimes I know we're like that, but you just got to enjoy it. Like, once, and I thought of that. I'm like, sometimes just enjoy things are going okay.
Yeah.
You're happy with what you did. I love the special. I love the material. Don't put yourself in a position where you're like, you fucking suck. Like, it doesn't have to be that way.
Just put it out there and walk away from it. Leave it alone. Let people decide what they decide. And if you don't like it, you just work on the next one and make sure that you don't make the same mistakes twice.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
But I spend a lot of time, like, I don't think I've ever loved anything as I put it out. This I like more, but the older you get, the better you get, so it's like a little easier now than it was.
Yeah.
The first Tonight Show I did was 2004, and I was out in LA, and there was my buddy Joey Silvera, who worked for Evil Angel and would film a lot of the greatest porn. Joey was you'd recognize him if you saw him. He was in old movies. So I went to his house to watch my first Tonight Show with another guy, this other guy, Brandon Iron. And I went to the basement while they watched it upstairs. I couldn't watch it in front of other people.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was just, and it's not because I think I'm an artist. It's just humiliating. It's fucking, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm like, go ahead, are you gonna laugh? Like I don't want people to feel pressure to laugh.
Right.
Because I'm around.
It's weird. It's weird watching yourself.
Some guys can do it though.
Yeah, they're psychos.
They are fucking psychopaths.
They're probably not healthy.
Oh my god, dude! Do you know what mental illness you need to sit someone down next to you when you're special playing?
How about people that want you to watch their thing and they want to sit there with you? Like, hey, watch this. And you're like, I don't want to watch this.
It puts you in a weird. If I do an acting role, I don't love acting, which is great because nobody loves when I do it. So it works out nicely. But if I do something I like, I have to see it first, and I have to watch it and go, okay, I'm not embarrassed by this. I can go and watch it in a premiere. Like, you know what I mean? Like I have to see it first to know if I'm going to feel humiliated. The Irishman I didn't see first. Obviously, Scorsese's not going to send me a fucking cut, and I didn't know I made it until like literally the night before. But that was different. So I'm like, I don't care how, whatever. It was a stand-up performance. So
right.
A little bit easier than acting. It's humiliating.
Yeah, it's gross. I don't like any of it. When I've been in a couple movies, I've refused to go to the red carpet. I sneak in through the back. I'm like, they were like, I want you to walk the red carpet. I'm like, nope.
Is it because you don't? Because everyone would talk to you. I'm afraid no one's going to talk to me on the red carpet. Like, do you know how embarrassing it is when you hear that person who walks you through in the front and like you're standing there ready for your moment and you hear her going, oh, Jim Norton, and then you'll hear it a second and then she goes, Jim Norton, he's a comedian. I was like, oh fuck, they have no idea who I am. It's just humiliating. So I don't like doing it, man. But
I just don't like the attention. I don't like standing there while they take pictures. Just standing there, just looking around. Look at me, Joe. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah. Over here.
Some people love it. Yeah. Actresses love it. They pose. They like give you their good side.
Yeah.
Give you a little bit of practice in the mirror. Ugh.
But I almost understand. I have more tolerance for actors who love it because even though they're as big of attention idiots as we are, they don't get the constant feedback. Like for them, it's their night of feedback.
Right.
Whereas with us, we're like, I mean, I've been on a run for like 4 nights. Before I came here, actually at the Cell, I had 4 like shit nights in a row. Just all the material I'm doing now is new, so it's like I'm trying this, and it just feels like you're Frankensteining it. It's not there yet. But I know I'm going to have another night and another night. And that comes and goes quickly. But actors, they have like one night to stand there and smile, and then they just get attacked in the comments or in the reviews. Yeah. So I'm a little more tolerant of them than comedians because comedians who love that, it's like, how much fucking attention do you need, dude?
Yeah.
You constantly get feedback.
Yeah. You should be shying away from feedback. Too much feedback is bad for you.
Dude,
I really believe that.
100%. And I stopped reading Twitter comments. Occasionally I'll do it now. And it wasn't just to say I wasn't reading them. It was because even positive feedback, I'm like, you needy fuck. How much, how many taps on the shoulder do you need? How many like, good job, Jim, or you suck, Jim? Like, how much interaction from people do you need? It's not normal. It's not healthy.
I stopped reading almost everything, even stuff that's not me. And I stopped a couple weeks ago. I just stopped going on social media. I will occasionally, if someone sends me something funny, I'll watch it, but then I get off my phone right away. And I think on my new phone number that I'm going to get, I'm not going to have any social media. I'm just going to keep my old phone number and only use that for social media. I just don't think it's good for you.
It's not. And although there's times like my algorithm, I'm obsessed with, I think we talked about just Japanese hornets and a lot of MMA. Like my algorithm is healthier now than it would be. There's still a few things that will pop up that, show what I've been looking at. Like if my wife is next to me, she'll see what I'm looking at. I'm like, oh no, it's just, how it is.
Yeah.
You go down the rabbit hole, you probably shouldn't go down. But it's not as unhealthy as it would have been at one point. Like a lot of it is just MMA stuff and animals and nice shit.
Yeah, I get a lot of that. A lot of it is people getting knocked out.
You like the knocked out? I like watching jiu-jitsu tips because then I'll bring them in and ask the guy to show me like, is it possible to do this? And he'll kind of show me and I'll just forget it. But it's fun.
Yeah, I've got a lot of that too. But I just think it's a giant waste of time. And it's also, your brain needs time to just think. And you need time to just be in your own head and think about your own thoughts and trying to formulate them properly. Really, like get an understanding. Like, why do I think this way? What is it about this that I've decided is correct?
Right.
And roll it around. And when you're constantly looking at other people's thoughts, I just don't think it gives you much time for that.
That's exactly it. Why do I think what I think?
Yeah.
Like, Hitchens did a great speech. It was in Toronto about free speech. And one of the things he was talking about is when somebody says something that you don't agree with. I think the example he gave was Holocaust denial. He goes, you have to protect that person's speech because if nothing else, it makes you examine, okay, well, how do I know what I know?
Yes.
How do I know other than someone told me? Like, you have to kind of examine how you come to your own conclusions. And I do that a lot. Like in the shower, I'll just kind of stand there. It's really, like we all have a weird showering method. I just kind of stand there with my hands like this. It's bizarre. It's like womb-like. And I just stand there and I think, or I go through arguments, or I go through conversations or debates. And that's the one time I really get to think during the day where I don't let anything else interfere. But being off social media is probably a lot healthier. Just again, it's other people's thoughts. I don't care what people think. I don't know why I read it.
Well, I care what people think, but I don't care enough to have that intervene and invade my thoughts all day long. I mean, I'm fascinated by people, but I like to talk to them for real, like this.
Yeah.
This is like, because I think that's also having a podcast and having what I think is the best way to communicate with people and to be able to be so lucky to be able to do it all the time. I think I get plenty of other people's input.
Right. And you get the real opinions and you sense up in a room with a person. Again, it's harder to dislike or to caricature somebody when you've met them and when you've actually sat with them. It's like, nah, I know this person. I kind of felt their energy, and it's like, yeah, they're just a regular person. It's easy when you look at somebody to hate their guts. And I bashed a few people. It was always so embarrassing. We would do Jocktober, and O&A never went into other people's studios, but I would, and I'd be on the road, and it was I was in Boston with Kenny one time. He's like, they're having you in, but you Jocktobered them, and I was like, So I went in, and you just go, they're like, yeah, you really, and I'm like, yeah, man, it was just something we do, but you face it and you realize, yeah, they're nice guys. It was just it's a dumb radio show. I had fun, and I've actually become friendly with a couple of guys who we used to attack, but you only get that through meeting somebody and actually talking to them one-on-one.
The worst is when you meet someone and you have a conversation with them and you're cool. You think, oh, we're good, and then they'll go and talk shit about you somewhere else and completely mischaracterize you.
Have you had that?
Oh yeah, I've had that. Yeah, that's embarrassing. It's sad.
It feels bad.
Yeah, well, it's just like, okay, well, I'll never talk to you again because I know that you do this now.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but it's also, it's like, why are you doing that? Generally, it's when I had a conversation with them and it didn't go well for them.
Right.
So then they just harbor that thing, and then they just fucking stew it in their head, and then they just mischaracterize you and try to twist you around because they're trying to win this argument they already lost.
Yes.
It's like, when you get in an argument, you didn't have anything to say, and then you're in the shower, you're like, I should have said this. I should have said that.
Yeah.
Well, they're just doing that, and they're just going and doing that on another podcast.
Yes, relitigating what the jury has already come in on. Yes. And it's human instinct to do. I also think sometimes people do it and they don't think you're going to see it. Like, especially when you have such a high level of like recognition that if somebody, they're probably like, he'll never see this, and I can just, and then you see it and they're probably like, ugh, I shouldn't have said that. But I've read things that hurt my feelings. I'm like, why would you say that? Like, I was nice to you.
I don't know. It's weird. It's like, humans are so strange. We're so strange in our weird little quirks and the way we communicate with each other and what is truth, what's real, who are you? Who are you? You're different every day.
Yeah.
You're different depending on how your day went. Your reaction to something. I remember one time this guy wasn't paying attention. Traffic was stopped and he rear-ended me. And he didn't have a license. He's from Mexico. But I had been doing yoga like every day. And I was like, you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm like, all right, man. And I go, why don't you have a license? He's like, I can't get a license. I go, well, so why are you driving? He's like, I got to work. I go, all right. I get it. I wasn't mad at him, but it was because I was doing yoga like every day. We were doing this hot yoga challenge, Ari and Tom and Bert and I.
I remember that.
We were doing it I was doing yoga like every day. So I was so calm. I was like, okay, well, take care of yourself. I'm gonna get out of here because his car was fucked. My car was fucked, but it was drivable.
Yeah,
it was a Porsche. Like, it was a really nice car, and he had like this fucking shitty Honda. And but the way he broke, like when you brake, your front end dives down, and so he kind of got under my car and lifted my car up a little bit and caved in my back bumper a little bit. But they just replaced the bar, and the engine wasn't fucked, and my exhaust was dented a little bit. His car was fucked. He couldn't drive, so he got to be there when the cops came, and he couldn't drive away.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know what to tell. I'm gonna get out of here.
Oh, you just left? Yeah.
I was like, he doesn't have any money. Like, I'm gonna pay for this.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is gonna hurt me. I have the money to fix it. So all right, take care, man. Glad you're okay.
Being zen like that, like, because it reminds me of, I was leaving the Holland Tunnel with Karen Feehan. We were doing a gig in Jersey, and it was bumper to bumper. And I came, so there was like that merge where you think you're never going to get out of it. And a guy stopped. He goes, "You hit my car." And I'm like, I know I didn't hit his car, but he made us. It was bumper to bumper. I'm like, let's just talk on the other side of the tunnel. Like, let's get out of this fuck, because I was going to be late for the gig. And he goes, no, we're going to pull over and wait for the police. So I'm like, oh, this piece of shit is trying to shake me down.
Yeah.
So we wound up, one of those awful traffic women was there. The people that just, they work for the city and they dress like cops, but they're not cops.
Right.
If you assault one of them, it's like a big deal. So we pulled over and I said, is it okay if we just trade licenses? And she went, yeah, just trade licenses, which I think kind of shamed him into like letting us move on. Otherwise he was going to have me fucking held up there or pay him on
So you didn't hit his car at all?
Karen said I didn't. It was a merge, and if I did, it was a 1 mile an hour bump, but there was no mark on his car at all. I think the whole thing was a scam because we traded licenses and I never heard from the guy.
You ever seen that thing where people get in front of people's cars and slam on the brakes?
I've seen it.
Oh.
And it's terrible, and the best is when you have a dash cam, and then you see them, they recognize the dash cam, and then they just scurry back into their cars.
This episode is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. Summer jobs can be extremely rewarding. You can learn a lot about yourself and what you want, and there are some pretty unique jobs out there, from lifeguards and camp counselors to construction, dog walking, mule packers, and more. There's a lot of options if you have the skills. On the flip side, if you're hiring this summer, it might be tough to find the right person with the right qualifications before your competitors unless you use ZipRecruiter. Try it for free now at ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. Why should you use ZipRecruiter? It's going to make hiring for the season astronomically more manageable and fast. Its powerful matching technology does a deep dive to find the right candidates for the role as soon as you post it. And when you find someone you like, the invite to apply feature helps you connect ASAP. Gear up for summer with ZipRecruiter's high-speed hiring tool. See why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Just go to this exclusive web address right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. There was one recently, I think it was in New Jersey, where these people, they tried it and it didn't work. Then they threw it in reverse and backed up fast and slammed into this guy's car, this lady's car. But she had a dash cam the entire time.
Yes.
And she's on the phone. Oh my God, these people just backed up into me. And then they got out of the car and they're like, what did you do? What did you do? And then they saw the dash cam, like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I've seen that. I think that's what I'm referring to, where they scurry back into the car and take off.
Yep.
when I saw, like, I'm so cynical. Like, people in Philly, you got people in Philly, like, if a bus hits something, there's like locals that will just run up and just lay next to the bus like they're in the fucking accident, which is, I get it, you know what I mean? They forget that there's cameras everywhere and they can just see you walking out. But this Air India plane crash, my first thought was that this guy, they said, survived. I'm like, oh, he's bullshitting. He didn't.
Right.
He's faking it.
No, he survived.
But he did survive. Yeah, because he
One
said
guy.
his brother was on the plane or something.
11A, seat 11A.
And by the way, to all the people who are going to now look for 11A, stop.
Yeah, stop.
If anything else, that's the last that you should take.
Usually it's the back where you're best off.
Yeah, I wonder if the plane broke open and he just got. There's a woman who was I think she was a teenager when it happened. It's called the girl who fell from the sky, and she had apparently they were like 2 miles up and the plane blew up, whatever, and it came apart and she fell 2 miles. Somehow survived. The sole
She hit
survivor.
a barn, right? Didn't she go through the roof of a barn or something?
No, she fell into the what do they call the fucking the Brazil rainforest?
The Amazon, Brazil.
She fell into the Amazon. Was gone for 10 days.
Whoa.
Apparently, again, unless it was bullshit, they said she found an old boat with gas and she had to pour that on one of her wounds to kill the maggots. And then she finally did get out and get rescued. And
look at this. 17-year-old girl miraculously survived falling 10,000 feet from a plane, then surviving 11 days. Isn't 10,000 feet? Isn't that 2 miles? No, what's a mile?
Yeah, it's about 2 miles.
2 miles?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! You imagine falling 2 miles from a plane? She survived 11 days alone in the Peruvian Amazon rainforest. After the plane, she was struck by lightning.
Jeez, I didn't read that part.
The plane was struck by lightning and disintegrated in the air. Still strapped to her seat, fell from the sky and survived. Holy shit!
What did she hit though? Did she hit like a mountain and slide? Like, how do you the impact? I don't know how you survive that impact.
Oh my God! She had a broken collarbone and a torn knee ligament. That's it.
Wow.
After the crash, she spent 11 days alone in the jungle before being rescued. She found a lumberjack camp. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. She became a respected scientist, specializing in mammalogy and focusing on bats. Wouldn't it be funny if she was the lady who released COVID?
Because her memory's no good anymore after the plane crash. Here, drink this.
She specialized on bats, and she got a job in Wuhan. She had no idea.
She had no idea. She's like, be free. Bit some guy selling fish on the corner, and he went and fucked somebody. But there was another one too. There was a flight attendant, and again, who I think was trapped. The front of the plane fell, and I think that she was almost from 30,000 feet. And if I remember correctly, it hit a mountain, and it was almost like she hit it on the right angle and slid.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Highest fall without a parachute in history. 33,000-foot plunge after a plane explosion in 1972. She was the only survivor. Crashed into the mountains of Czechoslovakia after a suspected bomb detonated. Jeez.
The lady who felt her parachute didn't open and she landed on a pile of fire ants, and the fire ants kept her alive.
Right.
Shocked her body into.
Yeah. Somehow or another, the fire ants, the shock of the sting of fire ants kept her alive.
What, did it slow her heart down or something, or stop it from?
No. What?
Imagine the odds of falling into a fire ant pile.
It's usually a bad thing to land in a mound of fire ants at 80 miles an hour, but not if you're Joan Murphy. Oh, Joan Murray. 14,000 feet right into a fucking pile. 50% chance of surviving a fall of 48 feet, which is a 4-story building. Mortality rate rushes all the way up to 90 when you fall 84 feet, a distance of a 7-story building. So if you're falling from a whopping 14,500 feet, just over 2.5 miles, you safely bet you're almost definitely not going to get out alive. One woman did. So she fell. A backup parachute opened at 700 feet, quickly deflated. She continued to plummet towards the ground at 80 miles an hour. She survived. There it goes. She survived thanks to the fact that she landed directly on a mound of fire ants. Doctors believe the intense shock of being stung over 200 times by the ants released a surge of adrenaline that kept her heart beating. Whoa.
By the way, does that prove to you how little I know about the human body? My instinct said, oh, your heart slows down. Like, I thought, like, oh, maybe it would slow your heart down when they bit you, and it does just the opposite. I thought, like, maybe it slows your beat down like being frozen.
I bet that's just a wild guess as to why it kept her alive, because if she was putty, there's no way it would have kept her alive.
Yeah, maybe it stopped her heart from stuff. Maybe they got to her right after, too. Who knows? You watch that guy who fucking lets things bite him in the woods? Coyote something? We go to
Coyote
fire
Peterson.
ant. He's a psychopath, but his stuff is very entertaining. But I think he's the bullet ant. The bullet ant or the Japanese hornet was the
bullet
worst.
ant's supposed to be the worst. The bullet ant's supposed to be like 24 hours of intense pain. Yeah, my friend Steve got bit by one of those.
On purpose or no?
No, he was in the Amazon. He got bit on his foot.
And was it as bad as he said?
He said for hours it was just impossible. The pain was just impossible. And then it's slowly dissipated to like kind of manageable.
Is that the one that they put in the gloves? You see that one, the tribe where they do that and their hands are like blackened by
Didn't
bites?
Didn't Steve-O do that?
Yep.
Did
he? Yeah, he did that. He put the gloves on.
How long did he last?
Well, once you get bit, it's a 24-hour experience.
Yeah, I'm very squeamish. Insects, it's funny. I've never gotten over this insect. I think I saw a kid. There was a brother and sister when I was a kid. We were all the same age. I think she was a year older than me and him were. And they were such a bizarre little friendship because they used to pee their pants, and I would ask them to sit on my face with their pants. It was a really bizarre.
Jesus Christ.
I know. It was a lovely childhood in good old Edison. Good old Edison, New Jersey. But I saw him get stung by yellow jackets.
Whoa, what is that? That's the worst thing?
Executioner wasp.
Oh.
But Coyote Peterson said it was worse than a bullet ant.
Oh, my God.
Watching a guy run with bees on his arms and screaming, I think that scarred me for the rest of my life with insects. We used to break up bees' nests, and I'll never forget the sight of this kid running with just 3 yellow jackets on his arm. And that stuck with me for, I guess, 49 years now, 50 years. It bothers me. I just can't. Insects have a very weird effect on people. To be so skeeved out by something. It's like rats, instead of like small bunnies don't bother you, but rats do. Maybe it's in the DNA or something where it's supposed to bother you.
I think so for sure. I think that's what ophidiophobia and arachnophobia comes from. I bet someone in your DNA, someone down the line, was either killed by a spider or like really badly hurt by a spider, and it's just in your DNA to be absolutely terrified when you see a spider.
What's
ophidiophobia? Snakes.
Oh.
Some people just, they have it so bad. Like, they see snakes and they just fucking start panic and they have a panic attack and they just can't handle it. Where other people, like, I'm scared of snakes for sure, but I can look at them. You know, they don't freak me out.
Can you hold them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hold them, but obviously I don't want to be around them. They're fucking serpents. They're literally in the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bible does frown. The snake got a bad rap in the fucking
It's
Bible.
fucking Satan. Satan comes in the form of a serpent.
Yeah. I can hold one if I know it's not going to, again, I have a healthy fear. Like, if it's like, if I know it's a boa constrictor, like that guy in the Greenwich Village who walks around with the giant yellow one, which kind of creeps me because if it was to really attack someone, I mean, I guess you'd have to kill it. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
It's a large boa constrictor.
There's not much you can do once it's around your neck. You need help. They're very strong. I mean, they crush deer and swallow them whole.
They do.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be a real special kind of fucking idiot to have one of those things as a pet, because you just have a monster as a pet, and as long as you feed that monster. But if you leave a baby in a room with a python, you come back a half an hour later, you're gonna have a fat python, no baby.
Absolutely, a nice quiet night's sleep.
They don't give a fuck. They're just like, that's what they're there for. Nature has designed them to kill everything they can.
Annie Letterman has a lot of snakes. Like, she has them as pets, and her fiance has. They have a room full of fucking snakes, and I don't get it. I'm like, they're not warm.
Yeah.
They don't have any recognition of
Very
you.
interesting, I guess.
I guess, but we have a puppy, and I've never owned a dog before, and it's like, it's nice to have. I don't like taking care of anything. I don't have that instinct in me. I just don't like it. But this dog kind of, I get why people like having a dog. Like, I get.
Oh, I love dogs. If my wife only lets me have one, I have one dog. But if it was up to me, at one point in time, I had 5 dogs.
You did?
Yeah.
Does he shit in the house?
No.
Mine does a lot.
I mean, he does if he eats things that are bad. He gets diarrhea, and he gets diarrhea at least a couple times a year.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he's a dumbass. He's a golden retriever. He's not that smart. Like, he ate a turtle recently, and he got horrible diarrhea, shit all over the place. He got little pieces of shell stuck in his stomach. He had to go to the hospital.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It was a nightmare. And he also ate gravel at one point. He ate 5 pounds of gravel because someone accidentally dropped some chicken food on the gravel, and he just assumed that the gravel was food, so he ate all the gravel.
It is crazy how nothing registers halfway through the gravel pile. He's
just a dumbass.
Doesn't taste like chicken.
He's a dumbass, but I fucking love dogs, man. I wish I could have. I can't go to a pound. I can't go. If I go to a dog, I'll bring them all home. I'll take them all. If I had a giant piece of land, I'd probably just have every dog I could ever get.
We went to North Shore Animal Rescue, and actually Beth Stern helped me. I don't know her well. I met her through Whitney, and I met her, but she's like is huge there and like has great connections and helped us get a very nice little. What is it? A fucking Yorkie. We were so stupid. We thought it was I thought it was a Cavapoo. I don't know what the fucking kind of dog.
What's a Cavapoo?
It's like one of those things where it's like a bred dog. It's a Cavalier and a poodle, I think.
Okay.
But it's hypoallergenic. I can't have dog hair.
Right. Oh, look at that.
I mean, come on.
Oh,
Is that not phenomenal?
Come on. Look at little Bo. That used to be a wolf. That's how fucking creepy people are. They turned a wolf into that thing.
That little adorable, shedding thing.
Look at that little face. Oh,
yeah. He's very cute, but that's what we thought we were getting. I didn't know, because a Yorkie looks a lot like that when it's young. I mean, it was like this big when we took it home. But yeah, I love it. My dog photographs like shit, though. I never put up pictures of my dog. He's a sweetheart, but he looks like a fucking wig and a hamper. It just sucks. I can't humiliate an ugly fucking dog I have in pictures. But in person, he's great. But I never post pictures. It's
put
not
a filter
cute.
on him.
Nothing's going to help. He's just kind of sitting there. It looks like he's fucking like homeless, like some homeless guy's dog. But I do, I love having him, but the shitting in the house is very difficult. Yeah, I think that's when I first got him. You see, he looks a little like a Cavapoo.
That's adorable dog.
Then he was. But as he's gotten older and his hair's gotten longer.
He's got shitty looking?
In person, no. But he photographs fucking terrible.
Let me see a picture. Let me see a bad picture of your dog.
Let me see if I have. I put up on my Instagram. I think I put up a video recently, and the screen grab. I tried to find the cutest screen grab, and I just couldn't. So let me see here.
Maybe it's just you. Maybe if I saw him, I think he's adorable.
I can guarantee you're gonna go like he might be great in person. It's like when somebody, but I would never classify this as cute. Hold on. It's not opening because of, but I'll find it.
Oh, there's no cell phone signal in here.
Is that on purpose?
No, it's just the walls are thick.
Do you guys have Wi-Fi or no? Yeah, I can't find it.
Forget it.
All right.
It's okay. I get it.
Oh wait,
is that it?
That's actually not that bad.
Oh, that's cute.
But there was one
Come
I put
on.
up. That's actually a very nice
Look at
one.
the little blue bow.
Yeah, we've fucking somebody in the house really mowed him up. That wasn't my fucking.
That's a cute little dog.
Yeah, all right, that's a nice picture, but typically photographs very poorly. But
wow.
he won't stop shitting in the house. Like
no.
I can't.
Well, you live in an apartment?
We live in an apartment.
That's part of the problem.
We put him on the terrace, and she'll go out there with him, and she walks him. I won't walk him. It's like, it's your dog. I don't want to fucking. I don't. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. Again, I don't have that instinct. I'm happy you have him and you love him, but. He just won't stop shitting in the house. I don't know what to do. I'm getting to a point where I'm like, this is why I didn't want a fucking dog.
Yeah.
I can't handle dog shit in my house.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
I heard that I'm debating, do I pay for a trainer? Do I pay for someone to come in and just...
They might not be able to. It might be one of them broken little fucking tiny dogs. You just can't stop shitting in your house. I don't know, though. I've never had like one of those kind of dogs.
Well, in New York, it helps. Like, you have a small little... first of all, I'm not qualified to own a big one. I don't know how like people own like Mastiffs. And in New York...
In New York City, that's crazy.
You can't. And you can't get insurance for them. That's what made me like, if you have a Doberman or a Rottweiler or a Pit, you can't get insurance, homeowners insurance. So if somebody gets bit, you're fucked.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what scared me about those dogs. German Shepherd.
Yeah, especially German Shepherds. Well, also, like, those dogs need a lot of exercise. They need a lot of activity, or they get anxious.
Yeah.
And they get kind of crazy because they're not supposed to be penned in like that. They're working dogs. They're
Right.
supposed to be out there running around. And if you don't run them, if you don't exercise them every day, they get like people do when they don't exercise every day. They get kooky.
Yeah, I became a little obsessed with. You ever see those Caucasian shepherds?
Oh,
like
yeah.
I want to pet one of those things, or those.
That's a big giant fucking thing.
It comes
From
up,
the
it goes up like
Caucasus
200 pounds. Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah.
hairy. It's a
Looks like a
disaster.
werewolf.
Yeah, it's a werewolf. It's a monster.
Yeah.
But something like that, I would love to spend a moment with, or go someplace and play with it. But I just, yeah. I mean,
Look at that thing. Jeez.
Slobbering all over your fucking
Look at
sofa.
that. 220 pounds.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Shitting.
Well, they use those things to keep wolves away from sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Russian prisons, I think. I've seen footage of Russian prisons, like where they have them around the perimeter. There's a fence in between, like Freedom and the jail, and they kind of keep them in there.
I wonder what their temperament is like.
They're aggressive. That's what I've heard. They're very
Are they bad
aggressive.
with people? Strong, powerful, alert, quick, dominant, calm. What?
Yeah, somebody just threw adjectives up there.
How'd they throw calm in there? Steady, strong, independent, faithful, self-assured, calm. That's weird.
The dog. You ever see those dog? What are they called? Dogo? Those
yeah.
are. They look like giant pit bulls. They're gorgeous dogs, but again, they're
Hyper aggressive.
They are aggressive, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Great guard dogs, hyper aggressive. They will fuck you up.
And
I think those were the dogs that Ving Rhames had when he killed like someone working at his house. Yeah.
When he was Ving Rhames or before?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it was Ving Rhames. I think something happened and someone, maybe they were there where they're not supposed to be there, or something happened, and I think it was someone working for him, got killed by his dog.
Was he? Is it him or Charles Dutton who did time in jail for murder? I think it was murder. I don't get sued. I think it was Charles Dutton or him that actually, before they were actors, went to jail. I just don't remember if it was Ving Rhames or Charles Dutton.
I don't know. He was one of those guys that had like a really interesting backstory. I wonder if that Let's
happened.
go find out with Ving Rhames' dog first, then we'll Google, did Charles Dutton murder somebody? I think it might have been Dutton.
I think you're right. This is the funny thing to Google.
Yeah.
Coroner said that he did not die from, in the Ving Rhames case, he did not die from dog bites. They were waiting for a toxicology report.
Oh, maybe he had a stroke and then the dog bit him? Like sometimes that happens. Like if someone has like a seizure, dogs will bite them. Like dogs don't know what the fuck is going on. They freak out and they bite them. When animals attack humans or other animals, victims usually end up with bites around the head and neck. He had none. This leads us to believe he went down for some other medical reason. Oh, that makes sense. So the bites were around his arms and his legs. So yeah, the dog might have bull mastiffs, English bulldog and 3 bull mastiffs.
200 pounds.
Jeez, 200 pounds.
You wonder if they were trying to wake him up or trying to pull him somewhere, or if they were attacking. Because you're right, if they don't bite the face, what's the purpose of what they're doing?
Yeah, I bet it wasn't. I bet that's what it was. Sometimes that does happen when dogs will freak out if someone has a seizure.
Right.
They don't know what the hell's going on. They like bite the person.
Yeah, like what's he doing?
They're freaking out. Arr, probably not even bite him to try to hurt him, just try to stop whatever's happening because it's freaking him out.
Well, there was speculation after Siegfried and Roy, when Roy got dragged off. I don't know what's true or not. Did the thing bite his head, or was it actually trying to save
Take
him?
him away, yeah.
I don't know what.
Yeah, there was like a lady that had a crazy hat or something like that, and the tiger was kind of weirded out by this lady's hat.
Is that what it was?
That's what I remember, but I just remember thinking, duh, like the tiger just did what tigers do. And
Yeah.
just decided I don't like this anymore.
Are they
I'm
both
just gonna
dead?
Bite you. I don't know.
I know Roy Horn died, I think.
Yeah.
I just saw they're making a Netflix series about, or Apple TV series about him. 8-episode series. Andrew Garfield and someone else are playing.
Did you ever see the HBO thing on Liberace?
Is that where with Tom Papa was in it?
Opera. Well, it was Matt Damon and what the fuck is his name?
Who played Scott Thorson?
The guy Greed is Good. You know that guy.
Michael Douglas?
Michael Douglas. Yeah.
Ah.
Michael Douglas played Liberace, I believe, right? Didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, it was Michael Douglas and Matt Damon.
Oh, he played Scott Thorson and Matt Damon.
Yes,
Okay.
he played the guy who got plastic surgery
Yeah,
to
yeah,
look like
yeah.
Liberace.
He's a classic,
What
yeah.
a psycho.
Yeah,
he
I
had his
interviewed him. He was great.
boyfriend get plastic surgery to look like him. I want to fuck me.
No, that's the last person I would want to look like. I go to a surgeon and say anything but this.
Isn't that is such a psychotic thing to want to fuck you? Oh my god, that's so crazy. I want you to look like me. Get your chin down to look like me.
Is that a power thing, or is
Oh,
it a
yeah.
fucking? It's a very bizarre.
Yeah.
Pure narcissism or just crazy?
Yeah, all the above. Power for sure. Power over that guy, right? He probably had the ultimate power in that relationship.
Yeah.
Because he's Liberace. He's this enormous superstar, and this guy's his bitch. You know, like, I want you to get a different chin.
You're going to look like me.
He got a crazy chin.
Yeah, he did.
Look
He
like
looks-
Liberace.
he looks very
that's it.
silly.
It was a fun fucking film, though.
Yeah, Tom
They did
Papa had a part
Look
of
at
this.
that, Rob Lowe.
Wow.
Fucking film, though.
Yeah,
They
Tom
did
Papa had a part
Look
of
at
this.
that, Rob Lowe.
Wow.
It's a really fun. Joey Diaz used to have a great bit about it.
About the
HBO thing. Yeah, I mean, Liberace was a fucking weird case, right? Because he had to pretend that he was straight forever.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious. Like today, he wouldn't have to.
No.
Right? He could just be Liberace. But back then, he had. Do you ever see the song? There he is. Look at that.
Yeah.
Super straight. Look at the rings. Do you ever see the song When Liberace Winks at Me?
No.
So this is a song that played on television in like the 1950s when, you know, the world was innocent, and
Yes.
there's a woman who was like swooning when Liberace would wink at her. And then, so they played this. It's Liberace playing the piano and like looking at the girl and winking, and they like, made like a twinkle in his eye when it. Let's play it because it's so bad. Here it is. Here it is. Put the headphones on. You got to see this. What is it? 53? Is that what it said? 55. So she's watching him on TV and she sings. Watch this.
Oh, God.
President of the fan club, I'm dropping you this line. I'd like to join your fan club. It would simply be divine. I found a brand new idol. He's charming as can be. I really can't describe his yes, honey.
Wow.
I start to shake, I start to shiver, and every fiber in my being seems to quiver. It's a feeling very close to ecstasy.
Oh.
That's what happens when Liberace winks at me.
Wow. First of all, he looks like Jim Florentine. It really creeps me out.
I love when he winks.
First of all, he looks like Jim Florentine. It really creeps me out.
I love when he winks. You hear the piano key.
Little tinkle.
Clink, clink. That's so weird. What a weird time it was back then.
Dude, there's a video of him too on Instagram where it was in the 60s when he was trying to get with the, he was trying to like, be with the movement man.
Be cool, man.
And it was like something about something groovy. And it's just him on a piano with all of these 20-year-olds just trying so hard to get the kids.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's so.
It's in the 60s?
I think it's it looks like it's like 1967. Yeah.
Is that it?
Oh
boy, play it. Groovy. Look at these guys in their pants. God, look at their pants.
Yeah. The piano's got flowers on it.
God, people really lost their fucking minds in the 60s, didn't they?
Yeah. This is very drug inspired.
Imagine putting those pants on.
Where's
Liberace?
He does come out. I'm not sure where. He does. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. At least he's dressed for the occasion.
Look at him. He's got the thumbs up. Look at his fucking vest.
Flower child, let's join the game and sing along. We got some feeling groovy.
Look at him. God, that's so weird.
What you shaking? I gotta try that scene you're making. Liberace's turning on. Doodly-doo-doo, feeling groovy.
Liberace's turning on.
Isn't that great?
Oh, God, that's so weird. And look, the piano's moving.
And he had to hold two girls. Like, yeah, I'm here to get some puss.
He's turning on.
Yeah.
This is like the acid days.
But it's so crazy that like this was actually probably not meant to be shitty and ironic, but it was meant to be like, yeah, he's this cool guy getting with the scene.
He's getting with the scene, man. And he's out there with his piano and all these weird people with flowers on their pants.
And the dance routine is just not the straightest.
Look at him go with the vest. The vest is hilarious.
Yeah, it's like plastic.
Yeah, it's like this fucking raincoat that they turn into a vest.
And a long, like orange, like almost like Shakespeare sleeve type of shirt.
So strange. God, people were so weird. But you got to think, like in the 1960s, television had only been around for like 20 years.
Yeah,
that's what's weird. This was really weird if you really stop and think about it. It was so new. No one. It's kind of like the internet, right? Like the internet is older today than television was then.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's 30 years old now.
Yeah. Yeah, the internet basically came around. I got on the internet for the first time in '94. I got on America Online. You've got mail.
Yes.
And I remember, this is crazy. I couldn't believe it. It hooked up to my phone. It was a 14.4 connection. Like,
yeah, 14K.
Slow as shit. And I got 56K. I thought I was a boss. Like, look at me, 56K. You know? And I remember thinking, this is crazy. Like, this never existed before. So that was 30 years ago, 31 years ago. This was just 20 years after TV, really. Like, when did TV really start happening?
I want to say in the 50s. Yeah, I don't think it was in the 1940s. I mean, it was in the 50s.
What was the first television?
Hitler broadcasted, but that must have been in the 40s. There was, because in the movie Contact, where they show you that Hitler broadcast, which they say was like one of the first.
He broadcasted on the radio or on television?
No, it was a TV.
I know they used to do a lot of World War II stuff in the movie theaters. You'd go to the movie theater and you get the news. The Allied front, and they'd show you the news. They'd show you like propaganda footage of the news. Our troops are out there fighting for your freedom.
Yes, and the Japanese, they show you.
They show you.
And the brave American troops smiley,
yeah. And then they'd have those propaganda movies.
1953, 50% of American households had a TV set. By the end of 1960, almost 9 out of 10 did.
Wow. So what was the first television? When did it first?
Oh, they had them. They started in the 20s, and then
really?
They were expensive as shit and probably very big, and there wasn't anything to watch. So why would you have one?
Oh.
And then
when was the first broadcast? The first television broadcast?
Oh yeah, up until the 50s, it was really just like public information. It says.
Oh, so just like the news?
There wasn't a lot of shows being made.
Like, what was the first television show?
Yeah, let's see.
Before remember Gleason did Cavalcade. I think it was called Cavalcade. It was like when the Honeymooners debuted, and he would do Reginald Van Gleason. But that's definitely not the first one. I Love Lucy was probably same time or before that.
Right. And what year was that? Had to be the 50s,
53,
right?
maybe 55, or maybe later. I don't remember.
So probably the television really became like, when did it become a thing where people would watch the news? Probably like late 40s, maybe?
Yeah, because 63, again, the Cronkite broadcast. I mean, so by then it was like in full effect.
So you got to think that 63 with, Liberace, or the 55 one with Liberace, that's so new.
Yeah.
That's crazy new. And then 12 years later, when he's fucking dancing with the flower pants on.
Here's a Wikipedia version.
First national color broadcast, the 1954 Tournament of the Rose Parade. The U.S. occurred January 1st, 1954. So the 1936 Summer Olympics. Oh, they have the Summer Olympics they broadcast.
Yeah, World Series, it says, was the first catalyst, like big buying.
Wow, you must have been a boss if you had a fucking television in 1936.
Yeah.
And then first like variety show was Milton Berle's show. So he became known as Mr. Television.
What year was that? 48?
47, 48.
Wow.
Took his radio show and made it a TV show.
So by the time that Liberace dancing with the pants on, it's only 20 years old.
Yeah.
Which is really wild.
Was that 68? I'm going to assume it was definitely late 60s.
60 Red Skelton television hours.
and the fact that people just didn't know he's a flaming homosexual. Like the fact
How did you not know?
How did you not? I guess there wasn't enough gay people publicly, so everyone didn't recognize. Like people knew, like when you spoke a certain way that you could be, but it wasn't. I guess that wasn't like the voice that everybody recognized.
Well, everybody hid it too. You know, you had to hide it. You imagine being a gay guy trying to find other gay guys back then? Like, what did you do?
What a risk.
Oh, yeah.
It's like being gay in North Korea. Like, how do those guys fucking... What signal do you give when you know the other guy's not working for the state?
Right.
You're in a rest area.
Even if he is, he might throw you under the bus anyway. Like, they have a whole culture on throwing people under the bus.
On tattling.
Yeah, their whole culture is based on tattling. And if you don't tattle on people, they assume you did something wrong.
I'd still like to kind of go there. I wouldn't do it because
Really?
I would, yeah, just because they say there's all those fake storefronts and all of those, or stores that are just for the tourists that come through, that they have all those fake stores that people...
They get a lot of tourism?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they get enough. Like, through China. There's companies that go through China, and every country doesn't have the negative relationship that we do with them. So I would kind of like to go, but I wouldn't trust it after that Otto Warminger. What was his name? Warminger?
Yeah, the kid that got
Sorry,
BTS.
Otto, yeah, for taking a propaganda poster.
Yeah.
It would be very scary to go, but I really kind of want to. They have that giant building, it's a 1,000-foot tall hotel or building that is just kind of half empty, like it's never was finished. They light it up at night, so it looks like they have a big downtown.
Oh.
But North Korea has like a 1,000-foot tall building.
It's a YouTube video of a guy that went. His name's Mike OK. He went 3 or 4 months ago after they had not been open since COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
And he went just a tour around North Korea?
He's a British person, so he's not from America.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to film a lot of this stuff. These guys take really, really like clandestine footage. You're allowed to film in certain areas, but I think your phone you have to leave at the border when you come in.
Wow.
Yeah, he explains what he was doing. I think he says he wasn't supposed to, but he just
Is he eating food there?
Yeah, he goes to a few little towns, talks to them. I remember watching some of this. Wow. He gets like a random Coke or something somewhere, or a Red Bull, I think.
That's so fucking risky.
It is risky.
Because just the wrong thing you do, you insult them, and next thing you know, you're in jail for the rest of your life, or you're beaten to death.
Yeah, they said that like if there's a picture of Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il, you have to be respectful and you stand in front of the pictures to take your photo. They're really, and they just rat on each other.
Well, Shane Smith went. Shane from Vice,
Yes.
back in the day, like before things got too crazy over there. And he said that they set up a fake restaurant for him. Like they pretended that they had restaurants, and so they had a fake restaurant. He went there, there's like only him there, and people were serving him.
Bizarre.
Yeah, he said it was really weird.
I guess when you're seen as a god and everybody just co-signs it, you don't know how bad of a liar you are. Like you don't know how badly you're presenting because everybody is just, oh my God. Like,
right.
So they have no idea. Kim Jong-un has no idea that people look at him and go, like, that's not real.
Right. And then the people that are there, they have no internet. Like their world is the North Korean internet. They're not connected to the rest of the world.
No, they would, I guess people will like sneak in thumb drives and stuff like that. I know, South Korean TV.
They catch you.
If they catch you, you're fucking. But you know Saddam Hussein, he's from Afghanistan and he ran, I think it was called the Moby Group in Afghanistan, but they would go next to the Iranian border and pipe in like American TV shows, and they would illegally send them over the border to try to get people like a little bit westernized or to at least see things a little bit differently. But it's an illegal feed. You're just shooting it over somehow and, you know.
Hoping they don't kill you.
Hoping they don't kill you, yeah.
Speaking of kill you.
What's that?
Said speaking of kill you in Iran.
What, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
But no one's surprised. You know what I mean? Like,
I bet the guys who got killed were surprised. They were supposed to meet with Trump to have a peace negotiation.
Wasn't the time up?
No.
I thought the time lapsed.
No.
Did the Israelis jump the gun on the time?
Well, the speculation, according to Grok, I sent Jamie this. Somebody said, were they killed, like ask Grok, were they killed because they were negotiating for peace? You know, that the Israelis didn't want a negotiation.
Oh, because they wanted to get those nuclear sites out of there.
They didn't trust the Iranians, and they wanted to make sure that these guys were gone.
Yeah.
They essentially killed everybody that he was negotiating with. So this guy's response above it, it says, what evidence might there be to support this position? And the position was, go above that. Yeah. Israel did not attack Iran because Iran was about to attack Israel. Israel attacked Iran because there was about to be peace. And then this guy asked Grok, what evidence might there be to support this position? And then Grok says, evidence suggesting Israel's June 13, 2025 attack in Iran aimed to disrupt U.S.-Iran peace talks includes its timing, coinciding with the sixth round of nuclear negotiations scheduled around June 12 through 14, 2025. International reactions like the UN and the Oman condemning the strikes as undermining diplomacy support this view. However, Israel justified the attack as a preemptive strike against Iran's nuclear program, citing its non-compliance with the IAEA. No direct evidence proves intent to stop peace, and the focus on nuclear sites suggests security concerns drove the action. The issue remains debated, with perspectives varying by geopolitical stance.
Now ask Grok. Grok is kind of Twitter's AI.
Right.
How influenced is it by, like, a ChatGPT I've gone to, and I was kind of curious because my wife's obsessed with it, so I was like, I think this is probably still ideologically influenced.
For sure.
So other people have done this. I put in, write 5 jokes about Jesus, and it did 5 Jesus jokes. And then I put in, write 5 jokes about Muhammad, and it came back with, well, we like to keep things respectful, and blah, blah, blah. And I did the same thing with write 5 jokes about white people, and then write 5 jokes about black people. And it did the same thing. It wrote the white person joke, but the black people jokes it wouldn't write. So I was like, oh, okay, this is still somehow tied in there's guardrails and it's ideologically slanted. It may not always be that way. So I'm wondering if Grok is the same way. Like, is any answer it gives you almost like coming from either somebody at PBS or somebody from someplace else?
Grok is probably the best of them for that, but the worst was Gemini. Remember when they asked Gemini to make photographs of Nazi soldiers, and they had a diverse group of Nazi soldiers, including Asian women, Native American women, black people.
Keep it fair, folks. Keep it fair. Keep it fair.
They just got locked up in this woke ideology thing to the point where the images they created of Nazis were woke.
I don't know what happened where people become so afraid of, like, I know truth can be unpleasant sometimes, but like where it goes to that level. Like, we will write jokes about Jesus, but not about Muhammad. Like, who's programming that and thinks that's a good thing?
Well, they're scared.
They are.
That's what it is.
I'd almost respect them if they said they were scared. Like, if they said, look, we all understand what goes on. We don't want somebody running in with a bomb belt. Like, there's violent retribution. I would respect that, but they won't say that.
No.
They act like you're crazy for questioning.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. It's not.
Yeah, it's weird. We're in a weird stage. We have all the information, but it's still got guardrails on it.
I feel better about myself, though, the older I get, the more like, I years ago said it and knew it was getting worse and worse, and like I was never stupid enough to think it didn't exist. So I kind of like, well, if nothing else, it validates what I kind of thought. You know, what I mean, like I feel like I wasn't a fucking idiot. I'm not taken off guard by it.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah, not necessarily to this level, but when you saw this happening and then that happening, and then little weird things like Donald Sterling, that one always bothered me. His private communications being used against him, and it's like, does anybody?
Which one was that?
He was the owner of the Golden State Warriors.
I don't remember. Oh, this was the guy that had the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Clippers.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the Clippers. Yes.
He was the guy who had the girlfriend who was this little side piece.
Vistaviano, yeah.
And the girlfriend recorded him saying a bunch of things about black people.
And it was almost like he was like, blah. It wasn't like, I don't think he was a hateful old guy, but he was just like an old guy. Like, don't hang out with blacks.
Well, he was saying don't do it publicly, right?
Yeah,
I guess like it embarrasses me, something like that.
His friends are probably calling him.
Yeah, but he was, he's talking to his side piece and she's recording him. The whole thing was gross.
The invasion of, even if he's a piece of shit, I don't care about him. But it's the idea that people are comfortable. Like, nobody sticks up for privacy. Like, everyone complains about, we don't want the government. And it's like, hey, motherfuckers, where were you when this guy or stupid Hunter Biden's big dick is all over the internet? Where were you complaining about it? You just judged them on it. So I wish people would stop doing that.
Yeah, the Hunter Biden stuff, the fun stuff was like him smoking crack and hookers and getting foot jobs. It was just fun.
Did he get foot jobs?
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff. There's a lot of wild stuff going on there. He's a wild boy. But I guess, you're smoking crack.
Sure. Got a tub, unshaven.
You got no guardrails. You're off the fucking reservation.
He's a naughty boy.
But then the other stuff that was in there was really interesting. Like the emails about 10% to the big guy and all that stuff. And there's just brutal, rampant, obvious corruption that they just look the other way because it's a Democrat. And it's just really strange.
If Trump Jr. did anything that Hunter did, they would kill him. Like it would be at the front page. It's all they would talk about.
They certainly wouldn't have hid it from Twitter.
They wouldn't have,
which was really crazy. It was a New York Post story, and then the FBI got involved. And the Twitter files, like when Schellenberger and Taibbi and all those guys went over the Twitter files, and it's so damning. It's so crazy that that's not so illegal that there's like just massive trials on television and people are prosecuted for it.
I guess with private companies or like, even though the media operates like,
but it's the government. The government is what I'm concerned with because it's absolutely election interference.
100%.
100%. Because there's a lot of people that were on the fence. They didn't know whether they're going to vote for Trump or whether they're going to vote for Biden. They didn't know what they're going to do. And then they saw that and they're like, fuck this.
And guys like Jack from Twitter have come out and said like, yeah, we shouldn't have censored that story, but it's like too late now. It's like you did it. People were telling you when you did it. You shouldn't do it.
Well, Zuckerberg talked about it on this podcast. He talked about the FBI getting involved on the podcast, censoring COVID information, censoring laptop information, and this weird feeling that he got from the government all of a sudden telling them and some of the stuff that they were telling them they had to take down was actually true, factual information. And they were like, oh boy. And so they diminished its reach and they did a lot of weird shit.
And the penalty for not taking it down would have been like, were they threatening them with like Section 230 is a big one that all the big companies are scared of. Like if they change that, because they said that I think the internet freedom comes from Section 230. Where a company can't be held legally liable for what's posted on their site, which is how like you can post anything about people and the sites themselves can't get sued because they're like, yeah, we're just like a phone company.
It's a public square.
Public square. Although it's not anymore. It's much more ideologically based and it's much more of a publisher, in my opinion, than a public square. But maybe they threaten you with that, or maybe that's where they start to go like, we'll see to it at 230. I mean, I'm guessing. But what else could they threaten them with?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, just the fear of being on the wrong side of the government. I mean, that's the thing, because then they could go after you. Like, for someone like Zuckerberg, who had already sat in front of those congressional hearings and, they had already asked him about a bunch of different things that the company had done. And you remember those weird hearings that he had to sit through where he sipped water very strange. People said he's a fucking robot. He's probably so nervous.
Of course he is.
Yes, Senator. No, Senator. Thank you for asking, Senator. Like all those weird moments. Like you got to be terrified of those people because they could change laws or they could just decide to prosecute you for things. I mean, look what's happening to the guy Durov from Telegram.
I don't know that story.
You don't know that story?
No.
He is essentially, he's under house arrest in France. He has not been tried with anything. He has not been charged with anything. But what they're saying is essentially they want a backdoor to Telegram. Telegram is an encrypted app, and a lot of people use it for illegal things, just like a lot of people use Twitter for illegal things. A lot of people use DMs for illegal things. I'm sure they use Signal for illegal things and WhatsApp for illegal things. And they wanted Telegram was especially popular amongst criminals, and they wanted to be able to get in there. But then the question is like, well, what do you determine as a criminal? Is it a political dissident? Like, is it, what,
Right.
what does it mean?
Are you looking for underage people being photographed,
Right.
or are you looking at just people who, like, because they can always expand what they consider to be illegal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they took Backpage down, so they can get certain companies. Like, if you don't do what they want you to do, there is a way for them to get you by saying you're too complicit in certain activities. So you
That's
wonder.
the Silk Road. That's what happened with that
Russ
guy.
Ulbricht, yeah.
And now he's luckily Trump freed him.
Did he pardon him?
Yes.
Oh, he did.
Trump pardoned
Okay.
him. Yeah. We tried to get him on, but he's just not ready to talk, which is totally understandable. Well,
Yeah.
I said, if you want to talk, I'd be happy to hear your story.
Well, because you're probably afraid that they're going to come with something else. Like, it's almost like
I don't want to put it in their face.
you
Like,
know
now I'm out. Fuck those people. What they did to me was wrong. And, oh, new charges.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why whenever somebody's exonerated after 30 years of being in
Right.
jail, they're like, I'm not even angry. I just want, because you're afraid you're going to say the wrong thing, and then you
Right.
go, all right, we're going to come back.
Well, that was the really scary thing about the Trump stuff. Like when they were trying to get him for 34 felony counts, none of those were a felony. All of them were past the statute of limitations. It was just bookkeeping errors or bookkeeping. They wrote down the wrong things and they tried to hide the fact that he was making hush money payments. But the reality of that legal system being used against you, lawfare being, they target you. Like the real estate one, when they tried to say that he overvalued Mar-a-Lago and it was really only worth $18 million, and so they charged him like hundreds of millions of dollars, which is fucking insane. Because Mar-a-Lago is an enormous piece of property that is on the most expensive place in the country. Like that area, I think he's got, is it more than 20 acres there? I mean, it's a huge piece of property there. And the next door neighbor had a place that was like 5 acres and it sold for $50 million, just the property.
Yeah. So they fucked him.
They fucked him. And it's obvious that they were fucking him. They were doing it because they were trying to make him a felon when he was running for president.
Yeah, Letitia James went after him really badly in New York.
And it turns out she had done some shit.
little bank stuff going on. Yeah,
She did some
little mortgage questions. Yeah,
she did some inappropriate things.
But he's whether people like him or not. I don't always agree with him at all. But he's an amazing person. Like to have withstood the pressure of that. Again, just as to continue with the pressure that they were putting on him and the way they were coming after him, and to still run again. I mean, it's the fucking craziest thing you're ever going to see in your life.
And they shot him.
And the guy was going to do it again. Or tried to. And another and a fucking the guy with the hole in the fence where his golf course was.
Kooky.
It's kooky. But it's like, and somebody pointed out to me, it's like, I mean, I'm surprised he doesn't expect this. It's like he went after them. Like he went after the CIA and the FBI, and it's like, oh, they're going to make it their life's work to come after you now.
It's also crazy when it gets real transparent like that, though. But when someone like Zuckerberg or any of these other people that run afoul of the federal government or the intelligence agencies, when they see stuff like that, I understand why they comply.
Yeah.
They're probably fucking terrified.
It is a little, or very scary when you're on there. Like, you never want them to dig in and be focused on you.
The eye of Sauron.
Yeah, we're coming for you, and because again, they don't pay legal fees. They can do it all day. They can do it through the next administration. Because Letitia J, she went after what I didn't like about her was a lot, but I didn't like the fact that they went after Cuomo for his book money. Like, they went after Andrew Cuomo for his book money. I think they wanted him to get back. Yeah.
For what reason?
I don't know what her reasoning was. I mean, obviously she just wanted to stick it to him and fuck him. But I think it was that it was seen as some form of a government payment, or I don't remember the technicality, but I remember being very annoyed that she was trying to go after. I think it was a $5 million advance.
Lawfare is fucking terrifying. It's terrifying when they do that to people when everybody could see it.
Yes.
Like, that's the real problem with the Trump one. And my problem wasn't. My real problem was, like, don't these people understand? Doesn't the general public, with their lack of outrage, because he's on the right and they're on the left, don't those people understand that now they've set a precedent and then they could use that on you now, or anybody else? And if a Republican president gets in, like there's in now, it could be easily used on his opponents because they've set a precedent. That's scary shit, man. It's really scary.
And nobody, again, it's like whether it's with Donald Sterling and privacy, nobody sticks up for each other on principle. And the conservatives don't do it. Like, they've got like the free speech thing in their corner now, much more than progressives do. But it's like, I don't hear them sticking up for progressives who are annoying. It's like, you have to stick up for people you don't like and that you think are shit.
Yes.
It's not just, you're not a big free speech warrior if you only fucking raise a flag for people who agree with you. And I find them falling into that trap, and it's like, don't fall into that fucking trap.
Right.
Stick up for progressives who suck and who are saying stupid things. Defend their right to say it without getting in trouble. Don't look at them getting fired as, good, taste your own medicine, like, we get it.
Yeah.
But then that's how they justify you getting fired.
100%.
So it drives me crazy that people don't defend other people's right to privacy or right to say what they want. And everyone in the country thinks they're a free speech absolutist, but they're not.
They're not, yeah.
Elon's as close as I've seen. Like, he doesn't seem to be shutting anybody up, like, regardless of what they say on his platform.
People are talking shit about him every day.
I saw one person was alluding to bad things happening to him, like wanting that, or I wouldn't say encouraging it, but close to encouraging it. And I'm like, if he's leaving that up, nobody has any room to complain.
Yeah.
Like, if he leaves up horrible shit about himself, then...
But he also left up the Kanye song. The Hitler song.
Oh, yes. Is that where he blew his cousin, or is that a different one?
That's a different one.
Oh, wow. All the hits.
Yeah. The song is Heil Hitler. He's singing Heil Hitler, like, in a catchy song. It's like, wow, this is crazy.
It is crazy, and I don't know Kanye West at all. I've never particularly loved him. I find a lot of it is just like, he'll just say the most troll. Like, somebody tells me he's going to come back down to earth one day and go, look, I was off my medication. I didn't mean any of that shit that I said. I feel bad about it.
I think he's going to stay off his medication. I think when he puts on his medication, he can't be creative. I think part of his thing, the way his mind works.
Yeah.
I mean, there's mania. Yeah.
I was gonna say I understand that in a way because I've always like you go through a depression or whatever. I'm like, do I want to go on something? But I've always been scared that it would fuck up my creativity.
Yeah, it probably will. I mean, I don't know what's going on in Kanye's mind or anybody's mind other than my own. But I would imagine that a guy like Kanye who's so prolific. I mean, he's put out so many albums and he's a complete workaholic. And just has, like, when you talk to him, like I had him on the podcast, and it's almost like when you're talking, he's upset. Like, he wants to talk. He wants to just constantly talk.
Yeah.
Like, his brain's like a tornado, just, wah! It's all just going, all these different thoughts. But that's also why he can make so many great songs. It's like, it's all just pouring out of him. But, it also gets out of hand. And then, you wind up in the situation where he's in now.
He's the only person, he was in Trump's office one time, and he's the only person I've ever seen Trump just kind of sit there and go, all right, well, whenever he's finished, I'll jump in. I've never seen anyone do that to Trump.
Well, Trump was happy that any celebrity was on his side, because at that point, he was Hitler. There was a lot of people that were calling him Hitler. And to have a guy like Kanye West, who is such a contrarian, also, there was the thing because Obama said he was a jackass.
Yes.
And so he's like, oh, really? Well, fuck you.
That's right. It was about the Taylor Swift thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That guy's a jackass. Well, it wasn't even that harsh of an and he said it privately, and I think somebody heard it, or it was picked up on a mic. I don't think he said it to be public. I thought he said it privately, and then somebody got the audio or whatever.